Hi everyone, Intuitive Edge. I'm back. Took a couple days off. I took a trip, had some things I had to take care of and do. I've been busy. I will be sharing more of that later with you all. But I wanted to get in here. I know it's a little bit late. I like to do the month ahead, and I'm like a week into the month already. Can you believe it? It's already April 5th as of this recording. So I want to go ahead and just take a quick peek in this month, since we're already halfway, or not quite halfway, but we've already stepped our toe into this month. So let's take a look at a couple things. First off, I want to take a look at President Trump and what he has coming up this month for him. We're going to look at the issue, kind of what maybe obstacles or challenges the president may be facing, and then kind of how things are going to end up for him. So I already drew some cards out, and the first card I have for President Trump is the creativity card. Now, this is the Page of Wands. Pages are messengers. Pages can sometimes tell us that there's going to be things coming up. We don't have all the pieces to the puzzle yet, so as the month progresses, things will begin to make more sense. The fact that he has the Page of Wands and a creativity card means that there's something the president's going to be working on that's going to take a lot of his time and energy. Perhaps with him being a negotiator type, he may be dealing with different groups, bringing people together, harnessing that energy of eliciting cooperation between people and trying to get something going. So he's got a lot in that creativity, creative ventures, bringing people together and negotiating. Now, what crosses that, or an obstacle that may be along with that, he's got the Ten of Wands. This is a card of taking on responsibility, taking on a project. This is taking on a burden, but it, depending on how that faces the president, it can just mean taking on more responsibility, being in charge of something. Ten of Wands, taking a burden, but that depends on how the president sees it. Sometimes taking on a burden can be a good thing, but it's just taking on a lot, okay? A lot more responsibility for the president. And that can be an obstacle, but also a challenge for him. The outcome card for him, I just drew 3 here just to kind of round it out. He's got the Strength card, Major Arcana. Strength card. The key word here is stability. So it's all about him at the end of the month, rounding this out. The Strength card is a very good card to have. Means that whatever this responsibility is that he's taking on, or this creative venture of bringing people together and trying to get something moving, or bringing about some type of negotiating with people, it's going to work out in his favor. He's got the Strength card. He'll be able to pull through with whatever this is that he's trying to do. So having the Strength card in that position is very good. I do feel that there's possibly the president closing the border. Okay, that might happen. Now, that just came to me with the imagery of this card. There's this mermaid figure on this card. I'll show it to you again. And you see all of the, he's like prying open a fish net, right? And letting all these fish out. But I can also see it as pulling that together. In other words, seeing these fish that are like coming out. Perhaps it's like closing that off, closing out the floodgates. Okay. That's a possibility with using his strength and his authority. He may be taking that type of drastic action, possibly. I'm just giving this as a maybe, but I see that as a possibility, a distinct possibility with the president using his strength and his executive authority, which is the strength behind him, to take that kind of drastic action. So just know that may be on the horizon. Okay. All right. Okay, next we're going to take a look at the month of April for the Fed, for the financial markets. Let's see what we have in store for the Fed. So the first card that I pulled is the Five of Swords. This is the card of conflict. So there may be some disagreement or some conflict or some general tension in the Fed, perhaps. Perhaps arguments maybe with raising rates or not, or just maybe a little bit of market challenges. But I think more with the Fed itself on how they want to proceed forward. And there feels like there's a little bit of some conflict there. Now, crossing that is the Magician card. This is the card of manifestation. This is a card of being able to manipulate things, to take something and work your magic to make things happen. So there's some type of conflict or difficulty getting that, being able to do that manipulation. So, you know, the markets are all about, you know, who's in control and who's really pulling the strings with the markets, okay? And there's a conflict there. And this is like, how are we supposed to crunch the numbers and make things look right, manipulate? Again, that happens. So this is a challenge, I think, for the Fed right now, is maybe they're not feeling like they're able to get in and do the things that they want to do to have the market appear a certain way or look a certain way. I think that conflict is an obstacle. Now, rounding that out with the outcome, we've got the practicality card. This is the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is facing back to this Magician. And you know what? I have to say this. I think the president, with, as they say, I think I saw this last reading I did with him holding, I think it might have been this exact same card, but the president has like this scepter, this wand. If you take a look at the king here with this wand, the magic wand, as they say, but it's facing back toward the Magician card. So I think there may be some conflict perhaps between the president and the Fed on how to work the markets to make things work. I don't think that and there may be some conflict in terms of who the president wants to put in charge, or maybe some people aren't seeing eye to eye on how to address the market and how to keep things running smoothly. So I think the president has some power on one end, and the Fed has some I think the conflict is more on the part of the Fed, because I think the president has some sway or talk in terms of who maybe gets to write the rules or make the rules, okay? Again, I'm not in the financial sector, so I'm just getting this intuitively, so hopefully this might make sense to those that may be more involved in this, but I'm just getting kind of what I see intuitively is like the president and the Fed being at odds a little bit with how to proceed forward with the markets. Overall, I don't sense like the market's gonna have like a lot of challenges. It's just the people involved and figuring out how to balance things out. Okay, so the next question I had for this month, I was asking about the Mueller report. I know that there are members of Congress that are asking for the complete, full, unredacted report to be given to Congress so that they can read it. And so I asked about that, and I laid out some cards. And this is interesting. So I laid out 3 cards. All 3 are 6s. Interesting. So we had the 6 crossed by a 6 with an outcome of a 6. All right. So the first 6 is the 6 of Cups. The keyword is reflection. This is like wanting to reflect on something, wanting to see something, wanting to ascertain guilt or innocence on its own merits. It's crossed by the success card, the 6 of Wands. So it's like the challenge is being successful at this ability to do reflection, okay? The outcome is the 6 of Swords, which is having to move on and move away from something, and it can be like a sad ending. So the outcome of this, 666, I think is going to have to be moved, like, it's the calm card, the keyword calm, the 6 of Swords it's kind of like you have to move on from something and like have a parting of the ways. But moving on to something better, moving into something new. So there may be some success, but I think ultimately it's going to have to be moving on from something regarding that question. Right before that, I was asking about the members of Congress that are wanting the Mueller report, and what this is going to look like for them in the news this month. And we had the Three of Swords, card of heartache, a difficult situation to deal with, a troubling situation, and that seems to me that could represent that Mueller report possibly. But also it's crossed by a creative energy, like that energy of wanting to see it, wanting to have something, but coming out of this heartbreak. And as we know, we could probably look at this in terms of the challenge or difficulty or problem or heartache or feeling of betrayal with not getting the result that was hoped for. But the outcome of this is the conflict card again, the Five of Swords. This is conflict. So there's this issue with this sadness. I don't think there's enough of that creativity, that energy. That's also the obstacle. So there's going to be some difficulty getting a hold of those documents that they want. Could cause some people in the news, in politics, to be upset or challenged in that way, and the conflict around it. And then the Mueller report itself being the 666 energy. That just, to me, is like, with that Six of Swords on the end, it's like having to move on. So, okay, I think that's it for this reading. That's it for today. I will be back more with some more videos hopefully soon. And that's it for today. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And I will catch you next time. This is Intuitive Edge. Bye for now.